Greetings, everyone. This is Rambling Collector here, and I would like to welcome you all back for another book review today. The topic of this video, the newest novella by R.I. Polsgrove, featuring a diversion from their usual content, a superhero trilogy, with the first book being called Villain. So as you all know, I have been following this author for a while and reviewing pretty much all of their works when I can get the chance. And as you all know, I have also reviewed a lot of superhero stuff on this channel as well, ranging from comics to some of the rare superhero novels that are out there that are not Marvel and DC related. And as you all know, superhero novels in general, outside of Marvel and DC, are a massive rarity. At least in my eyes they are. So I knew I had to check this one out. Not just because R.I. Polsgrove is one of my favorite authors, but also because I'm a big sucker for superhero stories. So with that being said, let's get started, shall we? So first of all, I would say that Villain provides a unique take on superheroes, similar to the Boys comics in the idea that heroes are made, not born, at least at first, but that would be spoiler territory. But also, telling the story of a young hero in training converting to the side of villainy allows for a unique story showing not all superhero stories are black and white, especially to young readers. Now, in the past, I have covered the novel Victor Boom Will Save Us, and at some point I will be reading and reviewing the sequel, Victor Boom Must Die, by David Joel Stevenson, as well as the collection of stories called No More Heroes, which shows a rise of villainy in that particular collection. But Villain? The fact that it is targeted at young adults provides a really interesting take for that, and it's a way to teach young readers at that, again, not all heroes are black and white in that sense. There's always those shades of gray, or the ones who fall from grace. Now, our young hero here, Vesper, or I should say our main character, she has been raised since the time that she was adopted to be a hero. Her father being very strict and very heavily focused on training her to be the best hero. And that is all he has focused on, is getting her to be the best, never taking time for her and the interests that she had, crafting her as more of a weapon rather than a child. And it is only after Vesper is taken in by our main villain, called Iron Titan, but also known as Mrs. Ramirez, that she finally learns to see beyond the haze of heroes versus villains and gets to see just how bad some major corporations truly are. But I will say the growing bond between Vesper and Mrs. Ramirez was definitely a highlight of the story for me, having a similar vein to a student and teacher, or even a mother-daughter relationship in future books, or at least that's what I'm hoping for. It's never explicitly stated to be that. However, I feel like at some point it could be that type of relationship, sort of a mother-daughter relationship. Because Mrs. Ramirez was the first person to show Vesper actual kindness and care. Not for what Vesper could do for her, but rather for Vesper as a person. And it is that difference in care that really shows how Vesper finally gets to be herself, her own person. And to be quite honest with you, that is something I genuinely enjoyed reading about, because while this novella is very short at only 114 pages in length, it really does still pull you in. Not to mention with the author's first attempt at doing a young adult story was practically very well done, if I'm being honest. But it definitely left me craving for more in some cases, just to expand on the story more. But that is only a little nitpick of mine. As you all know, I'm an avid reader, or at least gradually getting back into that. But with that being said, let's also move on to a bit of random thoughts. So, for me right now, one thing that I have genuinely enjoyed as far as superhero novels in general is just how different of a take they go for when it comes to superheroes and villains in general, providing that different scope of morality, which I know has been shown in comics with stuff like Invincible and The Boys and things like that, showing that not all heroes are black and white, not all heroes are good, and not all villains are evil, but seeing it in a novel format, seeing a sort of rise into that, it's very well done in my honest opinion. Now, I've read works like of course, David Joel Stevenson's, which is going to be a full-blown series of superhero novels, which I am very excited for. And now we have the Villains and Heroes trilogy by R.I. Polsgrove, and of course, the collection of stories No More Heroes. Just some very prominent examples of superhero, I would say, novels coming on the rise. And frankly, I'm actually very excited for that, for the various different takes that they will do with heroes and villains, whether they are made or born, or even showing a rise of villainy, which I have heard, this is just rumors though, that No More Heroes is going to get a sequel piece, which, when that happens, I am definitely adding it to my collection, because No More Heroes was really well done, and Victor Boone, of course, that one as well, I still need to read the sequel novel for. And I know it's probably going to take me a while, so forgive me if that timing might put you off a little bit. But with the Heroes and Villains trilogy, I'm also very excited to see what that will do, as this is R.I. Polsgrove's first foray into the world of young adult literature, and I'm very excited to see just what may happen there. Especially for, again, the unique takes. But I feel like I'm just babbling on a repeating piece there. So I will say, we need more superhero novels in general that are less focused on Marvel and DC, because while I haven't read any of the DC or Marvel novels that are out, except for maybe X-Men Days of Future Past, which that one was really well done, if I'm being completely honest. But, again, the DC and Marvel novels, outside of X-Men, has been a rarity for me to ever read. I might try to, at some point, to read more of the novelizations, but I am going to keep my focus out for more of the independent superhero stories, just to give them more of a spotlight, if I'm being completely honest. But with that being said, let's move on to the overall score. So if you were to ask me what I would score Villain, I would give it a solid 9 out of 10. My only complaint being that I definitely wanted more from it, but I do understand it just being a novella, there's only so much time that can be given. And it does leave me having questions, as well as genuinely hungering for more from this author when it comes to the superhero franchise. And who knows? This might inspire me to finally check out Victor Boone Must Die by David Joel Stevenson. Overall, though, I hope you all enjoyed this review if you've stuck around to the end of this video. And if you like what I do here, please feel free to leave a like, comment your thoughts down below, or subscribe if you're interested for more. And if you are curious to see more of the works by R.I. Polsgrove, I will leave a link to that playlist here at the end of the video. Or if you want to check out more of the other indie authors that I've covered on this channel, such as David Joel Stevenson or the No More Heroes collection, I will leave a link to that playlist as well. We need to give indie creators more support and love, and I'm really hoping that this channel can continue to do that. Once again, thank you all for listening. This is Rambling Collector, signing off for now, and I will see you all in the next episode. Have a great day, fellow readers.